Hello and welcome to the second session of All Systems Nominal playtest, the Inner Sphere 3054 series. In this middle session, we're continuing where we left off last time with Omega Lance of Vinson's Vigilantes assaulting the planet of Coventry 3 to steal a bunch of stuff as pirates. So let's first of all get an introduction of your characters. Assaulting is a bit prejudicial. Well, if you can come up with a more fancy term for it, then please let me know. Yes. Liberating. Yes, you are liberating equipment from the Federated Commonwealth.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, we're not even doing that. We're just restoring natural water flows.
Oh, right. Of course.
Yeah, 100%.
The specific mission everybody is on is to attack the Veracruz to deconstruct, disassemble the Veracruz Dam with all speed. This is the dam that is used to power the Coventry Metal Works, which is this gigantic mech factory. The Lance is providing a distraction for the main force to actually attack the factory by attacking this dam. Yeah, light disassembly with lasers. Yeah, Brian, why don't you start us off and introduce your character?
Sure. My character is Frank Roy. He is a charlatan who faked his way as a pilot and somehow got himself stuck in this situation and is now piloting these things for real. And I don't know what else. That's about it.
Okay, yeah, fake it till you make it. Fraser, can you introduce Cold Ruin to us once again?
Cold Ruin is every anime character ever that smoked in a mech. For real. Well, I can't say that because I haven't watched a lot of mech. All the ones that I've seen with a character who pilots anything and smokes, that is my MO personality and whatnot. I have the skills of do-it-yourselfness on my side. And what is my other thing? I'm a shootist, so I'm like a sniper. And I was a pirate before, so really I'm just sort of like, digressing into my other job.
Yes, falling back to your old ways.
Yeah.
Great.
They just sort of let me know. They were just like, "You're a pirate again," and I was like, "Okay."
Let's be honest, you're a little bit more enthusiastic than that.
It's true. I got to fuck some people up. It was pretty good.
All right, Lauren, can you introduce your character?
Yeah, sure. I'm playing Dasha. Dasha is 100% pure punk, like anti-establishment, like down with like power structures and that kind of thing. But just please excuse the fact that she was privileged as fuck and got here on her parents' money. She learned how to pilot a mech like as a young person, has kind of like trained professionally in that capacity. And because she is super privileged, her specialities are command and piloting. And she is often she shouldn't be in the station, but she's very lucky. And the previous episode was frequently relying upon her 2IC, who is no longer here anymore. So I'm really looking forward to maybe filling that position with this new person who's joined us today, who has experience in this genre.
Yeah, well, you're a pure punk who knows the value of delegation.
Yeah, because he sums it up in like one sentence. Thank you.
All right. So next we have our new character, Farlow Cadwallader. Can you introduce them, Tejas?
Cadwallader.
Yeah.
Farlow is a farm boy, as far as most people are concerned. He's probably the only person who really cares about the fact that he is actually from like some sort of like Quaker religious sect offshoot that got flattened during the Klan invasion. And because he was not a good Quaker farm boy, he is more than happy to seek revenge using any technology that falls into his hand. As a matter of fact, he has taken what expertise he had learned in learning the trades at home and applied that to higher tech construction as well, and is, building mech so that he can bonk bad guys on the head with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got those mechanic skills.
Yep. And if, anybody gets hurt, because, in a world with mechs, somebody might survive an injury. I don't know. But he does have the ability to maybe put old, like, pastes and salves on somebody's bruises if that ever becomes relevant.
All right. Yeah, it's quite possible it could. So now, you, Farlow, you were a member of Lambda Lance, the lance that is commanded by Colonel Vinson, the actual leader of this company. And were you like the rookie on that lance, do you think?
Yeah, I think that I was there almost solely because their guy with mechanical expertise was blown to smithereens. So they gave me not quite a decommissioned mech, but I was there to kind of be backup and fill out a spot.
So when you decided to provide a distraction for the Lance so that they could continue their assault, was that like you trying to prove yourself to the company?
I think that proving myself was sort of secondary, and impulse control was probably the primary thing. He's been kind of rebelling against authority since he was, a teen. So, his dad can't tell him that he's not allowed to use electricity. So I don't know. It's not that told not to do it or to do it, but they were all kind of caught, without an option, and before really getting an order, he just, dove into the breach.
All right.
Or the Colonel took advantage of the distraction he made, as opposed to telling him to go make the distraction.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you've probably been told to join up with Omega Lance and to assault the Veracruz Central Dam. So I think we might start here on you joining up with the Lance. I think this is just after they finish their field repairs. So, Dasha, what do you think about this new member of your Lance?
I mean, the more the merrier. Like, we were ran into a spot of trouble back there, so the more guns and firepower, the better.
One of your lance mates got lost in a chasm.
Yes, the one I deeply care about, and stuff.
All right, and Farlow, what do you think about your new CO?
Yeah, which one's the CO again?
Dasha.
Yeah.
The privileged so-called punk.
Hey.
You know what? So far, she hasn't done anything completely untoward. She seems like she knows what she's doing and hasn't you know, taken anything out on me. She's, you know, given me an opportunity without, you know, just assuming that I'm an imbecile. So that's a plus on her, I suppose.
All right. Well, yeah, good for you, Dash. You didn't talk down to your subordinates yet. Okay, let's let's talk about what you're doing here. So you've made your way up into the mountains. You're headed towards this dam. Yeah. And let's maybe get a montage roll. Test out that little mechanic there, to talk about your traversal of the mountain range until you get closer to the dam. So it says, use a montage roll whenever you want to skip over something. You might ask one of the pilots to make a roll to lead the unit through an area or to execute a plan instead of playing out every moment of it. This plays out like an action roll. Use the outcome to establish the pilot's position in the aftermath, good, bad, or in between. If the outcome is out of the pilot's hands, then treat the montage roll like a fortune roll. Okay, so let's see. Dasha, you'll be, of course, leading the lance. What sort of approach do you think you're taking through the mountains? Are you pushing hard? Are you cautiously making your way there? How are you leading the lance through this mountain range?
I don't know. I think Dasha is feeling a bit like emotions is the wrong word for it. It's probably ego got punched, because like she totally went in to go and fight some guys and then got a bit like real fucked up compared to the rest of everyone else.
So, you were leading from the front. It's fine.
So I think she'll probably caution.
Okay, so yeah, you're being cautious. Okay, so this is a slow approach. All right, interesting. Okay. So I think you can definitely take a +1d for for traversing the mountains if you're going slowly. And do you have anything else you think would help with this?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I can tell people what to do really good. So.
Okay, well, there you go. You get another die.
Yeah.
So you're at 3 dice. Yeah, and I'd say that you're definitely going to have a -1 because this is hazardous terrain. And otherwise, I think, yeah, you scared off that light lance you encountered. So, yeah, I think you're probably at 2 dice. Let's see how it goes.
Okay. Oops.
How about the fact that we all have jump jets now? Does that help at all?
Oh, I like it. Yeah, take another die.
Excellent. I got a 6, a 5, and a 2.
Okay, great. So that's a success. So I think that you probably, yeah, you're going slowly through the mountains. We see like that storm system I mentioned before is coming closer to the mountain range. You can see down below that like the rains are like falling on the plains. And you can make out in the distance like the flashes of arms fire, and also I think you can see off in like on the other side of the mountain range, because you're sort of like, you know, basically traversing the spine of these mountains. There are cities and city lights that will soon all be going out if you are successful in your mission and you're completing your secondary objective to destroy the dam. So let's talk a little bit about how this goes. So Cold Ruin, you certainly like have those jump jets, and how are you feeling about the slow pace that the Lance is setting?
Well, is it slow?
Yeah.
Like how slow is it?
It is a slow pace. You're moving at you are taking your time and figuring out the traversal of each different slope before doing it.
Okay. So it's like half speed or quarter speed? Or...
Yeah, I'd say you're probably traveling at like half speed in places, quarter speed in really rough places.
Oh, rough, yeah. I hate that even in real life. It's like being at the mall and everyone's walking in front of you and shit. I feel like over comms, you know, my face pops up, right? To everybody's left. And I say we should pick up the pace. They already might know that we're here because we had an engagement already.
Yeah, and what do you got to say about that, Dasha?
Yeah,
orders are being questioned.
Yeah. What if they're fortifying the things? We should make haste.
But what if we like push ourselves too hard and then we're all tired and stuff and we get ambushed again?
What if we push ourselves and invade another engagement altogether?
Well, did you want to be the leader?
I mean, I can go pretty fast. Do you want me to scout ahead for us?
Yeah, I guess it's fine. I mean, yeah, that's a good idea. You should go and do that thing as your commanding person.
That's good.
If only we had a sensor specialist to try to detect the enemy.
Yeah. Well, hey, at least maybe your sensors are passive, so they're not going to spot you first.
I have sensors. They're called eyes.
Right. All I need is visual.
Exactly.
So, Frank, you made some... let's see here. Yeah, you didn't take any damage in the last engagement. That's right. So I think your Jenner is running just fine. How much experience do you think you have traveling through mountains in a mech?
Well, I was a pirate.
Oh, I'm talking about Frank here.
Oh, okay.
3 minutes.
Because you're like this charlatan character, right? Like you.
Right. Well, that's my origins, but I mean, I've been doing this for a little while.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, not necessarily a ton of experience with it.
Do you have any like fear of heights or fear of falling, or are you just like ice cold?
I don't think he's ice cold, but but he's tough. He's not going to let on if any fear.
Okay.
But,
all right.
I think I'm more worried about the other mechs that I know are out there that we're going to end up fighting than I am the heights, though.
Right, because there's that one mech in the enemy lance that broke off and escaped, right?
I killed him.
Yeah, no.
You did, right?
Oh,
Yeah. You shot in the back. That's right. I'm
out.
sorry. You're quite correct. Cold Ruin, ice cold. Nice. Okay, yeah. So there, as you said, there's probably some defenses to the dam. You don't really have a great idea about what's out there. But hey, Coldrune is scouting for you. I think, yeah, why don't we just see how your scouting goes there? Do you think you have anything that could help you scout?
Probably just my piracy.
Okay. I would also say your speed.
Oh yeah.
You're very fast. So
yeah. Is that because of my weight class, light?
Yeah, that's because your weight class, yeah. So I'd say you don't have a special sensor package or anything like that. I don't think it's terribly difficult. It's just the terrain that's kind of getting in your way. So I'd say like you're at 2 dice. So let's see how that goes.
Do we have a room set up already?
For dice?
Oh yeah, right. Never mind. We're using Roll20 now.
Yeah, sorry.
So how many dice was it? 2?
Yeah.
1 and a 6.
Okay, that's a success. All right, so you'll get an extra die in your engagement roll.
It was almost the worst.
It was almost the worst outcome. Yes. Valkyrie is cut off from the lance.
And since we're playing this game, in my head it is now like 80s anime, so I think like Ice Ice Baby is on my comms. So I'm scouting ahead and smoking, chain smoking and shit.
Nice. Oh yeah, it is all that plus like all of the MGS5 soundtrack can be on your playlist. Cool. All right. Well, so let's do the engagement roll here. Let's see how this goes as you engage the forces around the dam. When a unit is about to start a mission or enter into combat, we use the engagement roll to determine their starting position. We make a dice pool according to the following questions, then the fiction follows from the result. So first, is the team well supplied? Reasonably well supplied. You haven't run out of ammo or anything yet, so I guess that does count. Yes, +1. Does the team...
Were we able to loot their other mechs for ammo and shit too? Or other weapons? Or is this like... Is this like...
You did stop to do repairs, so you maybe were able to take something, yeah. I feel like, you obviously can't like carry the loot with you, but there were probably things here and there that you were able to salvage to patch yourselves up, and there will probably be some kind of like recovery team that comes in to grab the loot after you.
Cool. We just put it up in a big balloon.
Yeah, exactly.
Just up into the atmosphere.
Fulton up some mechs. Yeah, that'd work. Does the team have reliable and relevant intelligence? Well, in this case, you actually do, because Coldrune did some scouting for you, so you get an extra die. All right. Is the enemy especially vulnerable to the team's approach? I don't think so, no. Is the team engaging a strongly held enemy position? I would say yes. Does the approach involve an exceedingly complex battle plan? Definitely not. And is the broader operational situation in the team's favor? Okay, well let's think about that. I'm gonna roll a die of fate and see how that's going. You did win that one engagement, so I will. I'm gonna give you a +1 on that. Okay, yeah, things are going well. The other lances are pushing forward, and things have not gone terribly for the rest of the company. So it is in your favor. So that puts you at 3 dice for your engagement roll. So, do you want to go and roll that, Dasha?
Always. 3d6, right?
3d6.
I got 2 1s and a 5.
Okay, that's a mixed success. Okay, so let me just take a look at my notes. Okay. So I will give you an image. So you can imagine the situation looks something like this. There are, so basically imagine that this is maybe a little bit larger dam. This is pretty small, but it is an arc dam of this type that is basically built around a steep sloped gorge. And at one, so this is something that Calderon you'd be able to scout out. You see at the far end of the dam, on the opposite side of the gorge, there looks to be a turret. And you see people like running around, vehicles coming and going, and you do spot let's see. Here we go. You do spot a couple light vehicles, light combat vehicles, and a tank in the area, moving around, getting in position. I think that's about what you're able to spot. So what do you say to your commander?
I relay the positions of all of the things. Is a tank like a formidable foe against a mech?
Yeah, like they can fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like they're good for stepping on, but also they do have mech class weapons, so they're not to be taken too lightly.
So the biggest threat would be the turret and the tank.
Yes. Tejas, to your question, are you trying to take the dam or simply drive away the foe? The first thing to do is to simply engage the enemies, and the secondary objective is to destroy the dam.
Yeah, we want to drive people, like we want to be put out an alert, right? So that people are like, what? We're a diversion.
Yeah.
And then we blow it up secondarily. So
they're not just like atop the dam. We could just, blow the dam up from beneath them and take them out with it.
I think that at the moment the enemies are not atop the dam, but it's possible that they might try to go across it. I don't know if they think that you're interested in destroying the dam. I don't know if it's not clear to you what they think your intentions are, right? So you could make your intentions clear by firing on the dam, and then they would probably act accordingly. But
I'd recommend that two of us concentrate a long-range weapon on the turret and on the tank and strike at the same time is what I would do then.
You read my mind. That's totally what I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right.
Us punks think alike.
You know it.
Okay, so I'm just going to go back to the map layer and shrink this thing down.
I don't know if we even have. I don't know if everybody has long range weapons though either. So.
No, not every. Well, you have like far, but not. I think you might be the only person with extreme range. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about environmental tags as we get into this. So I think that one tag.
You know that Tejas is gone as well.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start writing these down to begin with. Yeah. So one environmental tag I'll say is that there's a steep sloped gorge. Other tags, I think that there is like rough terrain, and there's also a highway that you could use. So these are things going on. The weather is not especially bad or good yet, one way or the other.
As long as it's not raining.
Yeah, it's raining like to the east. You can see over there it's raining, and it will be raining here soon. But the moment, no. Yes. Okay, so yeah, so Tejas, the environmental tags that we have here are a steep slope gorge, rough terrain, and a highway. Yes, and of course there is the dam, right? So I think, yeah, okay, so let's figure out your disposition of forces here. So you're trying to fire from a distance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Valkyrie is probably at extreme range to use your missiles. Sure. And then everybody else, oops. Did I make a mistake? Oh no, I didn't make a mistake. Okay, so the Shadowhawk, you have far. Oh, you do. You can fire from extreme range. So are you going to go far or extreme? You can fire more from far, but you can still fire from extreme range.
Oh God, I don't. Far.
Okay, so let's go far. Put you over here, and the Jenner, you only have far, so I'm gonna put you in far too. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay, and enemy units. I'm going to move these guys off.
They're probably all melee.
Not currently participating in the fight. So we'll say that there are 3 combat vehicles. And I'll just call this one tank. And the other ones are the light combat vehicles. Okay, so you have the initiative. Who's going to fire first? Or what are you gonna, like, who are you targeting? What are you gonna do here? Oh, and also that I need to add the turret. So I'll write turret.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Turret. Turret is not going anywhere. Turret's range cannot change.
Are people good with that plan of attacking the 2 strongest things first. Or, yeah. Does that
Okay.
sound in the BattleTech worlds?
So you are attacking the tank and the turret first, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Okay. So are you gonna like try to like all fire at once?
I think so. To
Okay.
be
Yeah.
very surprising.
All right. So cool. So who's targeting what?
Well, have I seen this type of stuff before? Like, is it possible to like identify weak points and maybe tell people to shoot for those things? Like, is there maybe a control structure or power structure that would just shut down the turret and not have to get through its armor that I can identify?
There is a power structure. It is called the dam that the turret is on.
Okay,
But yes, there's a very large power structure.
and the dam is sending power elsewhere as well, I'm assuming.
Yes, it is. It is powering like the city you saw off in the distance and the factory that is your main target. Like the unit's main target in general, the company's target. So yes, you could fire on the dam if you wanted to, or you could fire at the turret itself.
I was more thinking, like, is there a big like cabling or conduit that like could be severed, or is it just like
no, definitely not. No, that's all built into the dam. No,
okay.
they wouldn't leave that out there. So yeah, you'd have to actually wreck the dam itself to get at that stuff, because yeah, I mean, if you're building it right on top of your power plant, why bother running the cable outside, right? So yeah, who wants to target what? Just write it in chat if you want to figure out your targets. Okay, go turret, sure. Tank, okay.
Oh, never mind.
Turret, okay. And
if it's a front mission 3, like how much HP would each of these like?
I think it would be a reasonable guess that the turret has more HP than the tank because you know, it's built into a big concrete structure, right? Like
yeah. Okay. I'll go for the turret, I guess.
Okay, so we've got 3 people attacking the turret. Okay. So I will get each of you to, I mean, it is a stationary target, so I'm just going to get each of you to roll your damage. Is anybody alpha striking, or are you just using your individual attacks? Fraser's going alpha. Unfortunately, Fraser, you cannot do that because you're at extreme range. So you can only fire your LRM 10s.
Okay.
I'll do an alpha strike then instead.
Okay. Okay, so I think you have like 2 weapons you can fire.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I have some
auto
missiles
cannon
and some lasers or something to that effect.
Oh, you got 3. You got autocannon 5, medium laser, and LRM 5.
Oh yeah, then I'll use all of them.
Okay, great. So you're going to be rolling 3d6. And we'll just say the first die is the autocannon for armor piercing purposes.
Okay. And how much heat do I take?
You will be taking, let's say, 4 heat.
Cool. I got a 4, a 5, and a 2.
Okay. 4, a 5, and a 2. So that means let's say it has like 3 armor. So that would be, so yeah, the first 4 is completely armor piercing. So that's going to be 4 damage, and then 5 and a 2. Yeah, well, we're going to subtract 3 anyway. So so you will be doing 9 damage to it. Okay.
One of those is a medium laser, which has a +3 to damage.
Oh, yes, that is true.
I'm so glad Brian's here.
So, okay, so let's say that this is at, so you did 12 damage total. So we'll say it's like at 8. Let me just make sure I'm doing that right. Okay. No, it's at 12 out of 25. Oops. This is what? Here we go. Oh, that's not a token we can do things with. Okay. No problem. Write that down. Okay. So that's taken 12 out of 25 from your Alpha Strike, or it's at 12 out of 25 because your Alpha Strikes. Your missiles, laser, and autocannon, like all of your fire goes streaking across the across this gorge to the far side, and just a brutal hit as like all of the shrapnel from your LRMs goes flying up into the air, and there's smoke everywhere. So the next person to attack the turret was, I think, Fraser. You were attacking it?
Yeah, I was attacking, and
you've got your LRM 10, right?
Yes. Explosive.
So that is gonna be ooh, okay. So yeah, so you're gonna be taking 1 heat from firing that. And how much damage do you do? It's just a D6.
Where does it say that?
You're just gonna roll a D6 and see how much damage it does.
Okay. Cool. Yes.
Okay, so you're doing 3 damage.
No, 6.
Yeah, minus armor.
Yeah.
Okay. And we had one more person firing on
Brian.
Yeah,
Yes.
Brian? Yeah. So you're firing your lasers, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All four of my 2 lasers.
Yes, all 4 of your 2 lasers. So you're gonna take actually 4 heat from Alpha Striking. And let's see how that goes. Potentially could do a lot of damage here. You're gonna roll 2d6. 2d6 plus 6. Okay. So that is 4 plus a 6. It's a 10. Minus 3. So you're doing 7 damage. Okay. So it's down to 2. It's fucked up. Like, you know, there's like a gap in the armor that's been opened up by all this LRM fire that's just like hammering the turret. And your lasers shoot in, and you hear that like crackling noise as the laser fire goes off. And you can see that like a lot of the armor on like the one flank of this turret has been turned to slag. Yeah, its status is definitely fucked up. Now, Tejas, I think you were firing on the tank. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I actually have stats for the tank, so it's easy for me to do. So, okay, so since you're already firing, I'll just write down the HP now. Go ahead and make your roll. What are you firing with? You're at far range, and you got all of those lasers. So your heat Max is out at 8. So if you alpha strike and you don't use a heat sink, you will actually max your heat out in one shot. So yeah, you could do that and use a heat sink to deal with your heat. But if you don't want to use the heat sink, then I would suggest not firing all of your weapons.
Can you fire less than all? Like, can you fire?
You can choose how many you alpha strike with.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know. I was told that the tank is a little squishier than the turret, so I'm going to try hitting it with 2 lasers, see how far that goes.
Okay, so you're going to take 4 heat.
Okay.
And you are going to roll 2d6 plus 6.
Alrighty. I will look at you, Jippy. Give me a second. Oh, that's a good roll.
Okay. Yeah, you just fucked that thing up. Okay, so this is a bulldog tank. I would send you a picture, but you know, that's tough. It is so your lasers just like hit it in the flank, and probably its SRM ammo cooks off, and it just goes. There's just the lasers hit. There's the crackling sound, wave of heat, and just explosion right up into the air. People go running in all directions. So things are looking pretty good, right? You know, it's awesome. Everything's great. However, I think that Fraser, I want you to roll to evade here.
But I'm extreme.
You are extreme. That which means that you are the most isolated unit and the most obvious target.
Okay.
For what is attacking you now?
But I'm hidden like a ninja amongst the rocks.
Well, you think you got anything that's going to work to your advantage to dodge here?
Let me see. Probably. I don't know. I have jump jets.
I don't think those are going to help you out.
No? Aren't they
No. Well,
because
I mean, you just fired your weapons, right? I mean, you can use them, right? I guess, yeah, like you didn't actually take that much heat, so it's true. You could fire your jump jets right now.
Yeah, and I'm fast. I'm a light class.
Okay. Yeah. I think those both give you +1. That's fair.
And with my piracy, I manipulate this machine like it's never been manipulated.
No, I don't think so. So I'm going to say you're taking -1d because you've been surprised.
Okay.
And so that's going to give you 2d6 to roll.
Okay, 2d6. 2d6. I got a 1 and a 6 again.
Okay.
All or nothing with me apparently today.
1 and a 6. All right, so that is okay.
7.
That's not too bad. Not too bad. All right.
Is it a full success in this system?
That is a full success. Yes.
Okay.
So you are
like, not too bad. I was like, isn't that not perfect?
It's not a crit. It's not a crit, but it is a full success. So I think what happens is you fired your missiles, you're focusing in on your target, the turret, and you see on your radar that there's a couple points that just light up behind you, and you fire your jump jets to get the fuck out of the way. And you're pretty lucky because a swarm of missiles nearly hits you. And we have 2 VTOL craft that have come in from behind to attack your unit. So now you've done quite a bit of damage to the forces on top of the dam. However, you are in a pincer situation. They're behind you and in front of you at the same time. What do you do? Let's go with our fearless leader first. What are you doing, Dasha?
I really resent that. Oh shit. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. This is not my cup of tea. I mean, I feel like it makes sense to take out the people behind us in case we need to make a retreat.
Okay.
I feel like that's sensible.
Yeah.
I say with a rising infliction because I'm not sure.
Okay.
Finish up the turret as well.
Okay, so which one are you personally going to do?
The turret's pretty fucked, right?
Yeah, it's at 2 HP.
Then I guess I'll try and finish it off.
Okay, cool.
Why don't you let me finish it off, because you got way more weapons than I do.
Yeah,
that is a very good point.
Sounds good. Then I'll try and take out the people who had the audacity to surprise our surprise.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to say, let's see, those enemies are, we'll say they're probably firing at the moment from extreme range. So you'd have to, this is the trouble with using this map, is like, what if somebody comes up behind you? Oh no, all of our calculations are thrown awry. But you're gonna have to move into position to try to fire on them, which is a thing you can do. So I'll say that, you know, you're taking -1d just to have to pilot your way there, especially because you are on rough terrain. So we'll say it's -2d. And you are in a medium mech, yes. So they have a speed advantage on you. So that's -3 dice. Yeah. Well, how do you want to attack them?
Well, is this where I have to plead a case for why I should get dice?
Yes.
Or okay. Well, I have jump jet, so screw the rough terrain. I can navigate that, right?
I don't think it's going to help you with the rough terrain, but it is going to help you close the distance. So I will say, yeah, that gives you +1.
But I'm also an ace pilot.
+2.
Yeah. And what else am I good at? I think that's probably it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you get the +2. The negative penalties were -3. So that will put you at 0 dice. So do you want to spend an edge to get 1 die?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's see how this goes. By the way, what are you firing?
Oh, yeah. Well, I had really good advice from my good comrade that I have more guns than more firepower, so I guess I should use more than one.
Okay. Yeah, you could fire your LRMs. You could fire your. You could fire autocannon, medium laser, any of those.
Let's go for. I don't know. I kind of want to fuck them up quickly, so I'll go for the one that was armor piercing.
Okay.
And I don't know. Medium lasers. I feel like I'm saying words. I don't know what these words mean.
Okay. Yeah, so you're gonna fire those two, which means you're gonna take an additional 3 heat.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so let's roll that 1d6
Oh,
and see
shit.
how this goes.
Okay. Oh Jesus Christ. Oh, got a 5.
Okay, that's a partial success. So I think what happens is you run out of missiles in your LRM 10 or LRM 5. So if you just want to make a note that you were out of missiles.
Cool.
But yes, you jump, down the side or down the edge of this gorge towards the enemy VTOLs. And fire off your autocannon, laser, and or sorry, it was only your autocannon and your laser you fired, right? Just those two, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're out of ammo on your autocannon. That's what happens. Yeah.
Cool. Do I still take 3 heat?
Yes, you still take 3 heat. That was correct. You still have missiles though. And I'm going to say that you are moving now to extreme range by engaging these guys. And you just completely knock that VTOL out of the air. Like it gets hit with one shot from your autocannon, and it just goes spiraling, and then the laser hits it, and it just blows up in the air. It's toast. There's one left. So let's see, Frank. What are you gonna do here?
Try to finish off the turret.
Okay, go for it. What are you attacking with?
I think it's pretty heavily injured, and I got a lot of heat, so I think I'm just firing.
Okay, just the one weapon.
The one, yeah.
All right, go for it. So it's you're gonna what do you think's working to your advantage? So I think you're in range. That's 1d6, right? That's gonna help you out. Like you're at far range. The optimal range for your laser is far, so that's gonna give you 1 die. You definitely have a speed advantage on a stationary object, so that's going to give you another die right there.
Okay. That's probably it.
Okay. All right. So you're going to be rolling with, I think, like there's really no disadvantages because you're not having to move around or anything. So I'm going to say, yeah, you're getting 3d6 to roll here. Ooh, that's a miss. So, what does it look like that you end up missing? Like, is this, like, were you trying to get just the perfect shot, or what, why do you think you missed? Is it your inexperience? Nerves?
Yeah, I think maybe. Yeah, I haven't really had the actual training you're supposed to. So there's just too much going on right now. All of a sudden, there's just action going on in every direction, and it's just kind of input overload for Frank.
Yeah, there's all these like, buzzers going off and explosions going around and people jumping around. Okay, so yeah, so maybe you get the shaky hands and that laser shot goes wide. So it means that the turret, I think, is going to fire back on you. So I think this thing's has a serious gun on it. I think it's going to be firing a PPC against you. So roll 2d6 for damage. Oh, well, I guess that speed worked to your advantage because you just got the lightest of touches from that PPC, it just grazes your armor and goes wide. So yeah, that probably it was the the motors inside the turret were all fucked up and it couldn't fire properly. So yeah, all right. Now let's see what Farlow is up to. What are you gonna do here?
That tank is taken out. Yes.
It is. Yes. Sorry. This tank is done.
Okay. But for some reason, the turret has survived the barrage, and one of the VTOLs is also gone. Or
yes, that's right. Thank you.
Okay. All right. What kind of weaponry do the two LCVs have?
They have. So, why don't you just do a quick die of fate to see if you know if you can recognize this model.
Okay. Okay. Ooh, a 6.
All right, awesome. Yeah, so you recognize these as strikers. They are equipped with SRM2s. So short range missiles.
They'd have to move out to engage us. They're really no threat until they come toward us.
Yeah, if you're at far range, they're definitely firing at a disadvantage against you. I think you see that like their engines are like fired up, and they're trying to make their way over to where you are, but it's hard for them because they're moving over rough terrain.
Okay, and they can't utilize the highway to get over here, right?
No, because you traveled over like the rough terrain instead of taking the highway here.
Then I'll try to finish off the turret while these things are still basically outclassed or out of range.
Yeah, okay. So I think the same bonuses apply. You get speed bonus. You get well, wait, you get a speed bonus. Do you have anything else you think would help you?
Is it?
Oh, I think you're firing at optimal range. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you would be. So, yeah. So you get that bonus too. Anything else?
Not that I have, but the fact that it's, messed up and then also shooting at somebody else, would it be presenting me with like an already damaged side, maybe?
I don't think you get a bonus just because it's hurt. As much as I'd like to give that to you, I think it's still functioning. So
I got lucky dice hanging on my mirror,
Yeah.
Hi, baby. Yeah, that's a very nice Olaf. Uh-oh, did his nose fall off? Sorry, we have a sudden emergency.
That's fine. Yeah, so I think you'd be rolling 3d6 against it.
Okay. 5 looks like my high roll.
Okay, cool. So yeah, just you're firing with the one medium laser, right?
Just one laser.
Yeah, so you're gonna mark off one heat, and you are going to roll 1d6 plus 3. So it is automatically dead. You don't have to roll because or wait, no, that's not true because it is armor. So yeah, roll 1d6 plus 3.
Okay. What is its armor?
3.
Oh, okay. So I could
potentially not kill it. Yeah.
Get 2.
Get a 2. Let's go. Oh yeah. All right. Well, you hit that part that was turned to slag, and it just punches right through the armor. And we see that like there's just like flames that are emerging from inside the turret. and it is out of commission. Cool. So, how about Cold Ruin? What are you gonna do here?
I'm gonna take out this stupid VTOL that thought it could get me.
All right.
I'm like still in the air, falling slowly. Well,
Yeah.
probably not that slowly because I'm a giant mech, but I'm reasonably slow falling.
Did you remember to mark off a heat for using your jump jets? Just want to make sure. You did that.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Heat is 2.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, so how far away is this thing?
So I think for you it would be probably at far range because you're in roughly the same area that Dasha's mech is. So
okay, and did I see how many hit points the other one had?
I mean, I think it is safe to assume that it is a light VTOL, so if you hit it, it will probably kill it.
Okay, I'll use my laser.
All right, so go ahead, take another heat,
and
fire that thing.
Okay, and I'm shootist.
Yes, you definitely get a bonus for that.
Oh yeah, one thing I was gonna ask too is I keep bringing up like piracy for stuff, but do you think it was not a great specialization to put piracy if my background is piracy? Because
no, because your background is criminal, right?
Yeah, it's outcasts.
Oh, outcasts. Yeah. So I think that those things can still do different roles, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Like yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I just didn't want the same thing twice. Yeah, I don't know if pirate training particularly helps me with shooting.
I don't think in this one, not here.
And do it yourself. I don't know. I am doing it myself.
You are doing it yourself, however. You're not really fixing anything or building anything.
And I don't get a die for matching its light speed, do I?
You do not get a die for matching its speed. No, you're at the same speed. So you're going to get the 1 for shootist, and I think that's about it. So
is it distracted by its friend? Like maybe its best friend just died, right? It was like, Brian, no.
Well, I don't think so. I think this is all happening very fast.
Right. Doesn't even know Brian's dead. So so I'm rolling 2.
Oh, and you also get 1 die because you're firing at optimal range. So that's actually giving you 3d6. Yeah.
Cool. 5 is the highest.
Okay, great. So yeah, it's just dead. You hit it. And it is it just blows up. Like it gets hit by that laser, very brief hit, and you just see it in the distance there, light up in the sky. It's gone.
And that's when I land. I landed slow motion, and it's just like a fiery wreck behind me, and it's like all slow mo and shit, and looks good.
It sure does. All right, so that is another VTOL taken off the table. The turret is dead. Things are looking pretty bad for the other team here. So I think that they are, at this point, I think that those strikers have made their way into their short range with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move everybody up to represent that they've closed with you. And let's see. Yeah, let's see. Dasha, what are you doing?
Is there anything I can do that will not give me any more? Wait, when you get to 8 heat, is that when you're fucked, or is it when you try and exceed 8 heat?
So the rules are.
See, I might just step on them.
Yeah, this is a good thing to check. So If a mech overheats, fills the heat track, one of its pieces of equipment is disabled, and the mech takes 1d6 damage, then its heat is reduced by 1. The heat track can be cleared completely by performing maintenance and repairs, and can be reduced in battle by 1d6 heat with a heat sink. So do you have any heat sinks?
I don't know.
Okay. Looking at your
I have
mech,
one.
You have one heat sink. So you can spend that heat sink to reduce your heat and then fire.
Yes, yes. Why not?
Okay, so roll 1d6 to see how much heat you clear.
Okay. Got a 3. That's not bad.
Okay, yeah, so you clear 3 heat. You know, we definitely see those like the fans and stuff on the mech just like spinning up, and the heat just like waves of heat radiating off of the Shadowhawk. Yeah. So what are you going to use to attack one of these strikers?
Well, I've got no more
Autocannon.
Yeah, so I have missiles and some lasers, right?
Yeah, so you are currently at far range from it. So your best attacks would be either the LRM or the medium laser.
I'll go for a... Okay, I'll go for a laser. Let's just laser it.
Okay, so you're going to add an extra heat.
Yeah.
And you have a speed advantage on them. So that's going to give you 1 die. I think that the rough terrain is probably working to your advantage here. So that's going to give you an extra die. And anything else you think? Oh, you're in optimal range. That's giving you another die. Anything else?
Beastie Boys is playing in the background.
I don't think it's going to help you.
Damn it.
You did not take
Cook.
You did not take Technologic as your
next. That's for the next place.
Or Intergalactic. You did not take Intergalactic as one of your specializations. So I'm sorry.
Shooting stuff. Unless piloting encompasses shooting stuff as well, I don't think so.
I don't think it's necessarily a thing here because you're already benefiting from the rough terrain. So I'm seeing you're at 46 to roll here, so you're doing pretty good. Not likely to fail.
Don't say these things. Oh, I got 2 6s.
You crit. Okay, so what happens on a crit is you get exploding dice. So you're going to roll a d6 for damage, and if you get a 6, you roll again to do more damage.
Nice. And I get +2 for my lasers, right? As well.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Cool. So I roll a d6.
The +3 doesn't explode, just the d6.
3 6. Okay. Got a 1.
Oh! So unlucky.
Can I resist that?
Can you resist that? I think you can resist that, actually. Yes, you can, because the only thing you cannot resist in this game is taking HP damage. So yes, you could resist that if you want to spend your edge.
Is it wise to resist this?
Yeah, I mean, it could give you a chance to destroy the enemy. So
sure, I'll do it. Why not?
Well,
oh yeah.
Is the crit max damage plus a d6? So is she already doing?
Hang on. Yes, you're right. It is. Yes. So that means. So yeah. Never mind. Thank you very much. You would be doing 9 damage to start with, +1, which would put you up to 10. Yeah.
Okay. So that's pretty good.
Yes. So you actually do just basically cut this striker in half with your medium laser, and it is done. The other striker turns around and is just gunning it to get the hell away because it is outnumbered severely now, and it's trying to make for the highway. Anybody gonna try to stop it, or are you?
I take a step to the side so Cold can get to it.
Okay, well, I think again, this is where your piracy does come in handy.
Yeah. Get it, son. Yeah, I'm a shootist. I got my piracy, cold, ruin. I'm gonna ruin them. Yep.
Okay, so you are at far range from it.
So just
what do
my
you
laser.
use your laser? Okay, so take another heat.
Yes, 4 heat. 4. Okay.
All right, and so you're going to have the advantage for piracy. You're in optimal range. Anything else you think would help?
Shootist.
Shootist, right? So 3. So that's 46. You're rolling here.
46. Come on. I got a 4.
Okay. So that's a mixed success.
I just cut off his leg.
So the tank's leg, yeah, the tank or the vehicle's leg. I think what happens is, okay, you destroy it. I'm not going to make you roll damage. You destroy it. But what does end up happening is they've managed to hold you long enough for an airstrike to come in. So I want everybody to roll to evade.
Resist.
Oh yeah, you want to resist? Okay,
Yeah.
go for it. Go for it.
How do I resist?
I believe you just spend the edge, and
okay.
that means you get to make a resistance roll. When a player wishes to reduce the severity of any consequences except HP damage, they can spend 1 edge to make a resistance roll. The player can, you can roll 1d6, and we'll see how well you resist.
A 2.
Okay, so the consequence is only slightly less severe.
Okay.
So I'm going to get you to pick one member of your lance who is not hit by the airstrike.
Oh, well, it has to be Dasha, right? So, because we're in keeping with the aesthetic of military fiction, right?
Yeah.
Barely.
Liking it. All right. So, Dasha, you're not going to have to roll to evade this airstrike. The rest of you are going to have to roll to evade it. So, think about any advantages you might have that would help you to evade an incoming airstrike.
I'm fast and I roll with the punch.
Okay, I like both of those. Yes, that's a 3d6.
I'm fast, and I use jump jets.
Yeah, you can take another heat if you do that.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 3d6 for you. Tejas, I think that you're in a medium mech, so you are not going to get that speed advantage. But you do have jump jets, so you could spend a heat to help yourself out there.
Well, I was going to say there's all of this rough, craggy terrain. Can I throw myself behind something or maneuver behind something to protect myself from the airstrike blasts?
I would say yes if you had a specialization in piloting, but you don't. So
okay.
I think that it is it's that kind of maneuver is something you could do if you had a little bit more time, but they've kind of got the drop on you here.
Okie doke. No, I'll trust in the sturdiness of my vehicle and the fact that maybe I can fix it up later.
So are you going to use the jump jets? Yes or no?
And that just adds heat, right?
Yeah, it would add 1 heat, and you get an extra die.
Okay, yes, I shall do that. Or can I just spend edge to get an extra die?
Yeah, you can also do that.
Okay.
So you could get it potentially up to 3d6 if you want to spend your edge.
I'll just spend the heat right now and attempt to jump out of the way.
Okay. I will tell you that your edge is refreshed in between missions, so it may be to your advantage to spend it here because you might get a refresh soon.
All right, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I will do that.
Okay, so each of you make your rolls to evade the airstrike, except for Dasha. You do not need to roll.
I feel very guilty about this.
That was the intention, yes.
I got a 6.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got a 2.
Okay.
I got a 5.
All right, so partial success, full success, and miss. Okay. So I think that if you got a partial success, you're going to be rolling 1d6 damage. If you got a miss, you're going to be rolling 2d6 damage you take. 1d6 damage. If you got a miss, you're going to be rolling 2d6 damage you take. Or sorry, missiles of all description, basically SRMs and LRMs. And Farlow is able to make a last ditch effort to get out of the way, and only takes a glancing blow, well, a serious but not entirely, and does not hit your. What are you going to do?
I guess grab that advantage at capacity. So I just go straight for the dam.
Yep. Or run away.
Yeah, why not? Let's take that.
Almost certain.
I got a 4, a 3, a 6, and a 3.
Okay. This is Vigilante Actual. What is your situation?
We've taken a bit of a hit, but we're in a good strategic position, and yes, just 2 tanks remaining, but don't worry, we can take care of it.
Does somebody want to do something in the meantime?
Oh, go ahead, Brian.
I was going to jump in the lake. I could use jump jets if that's faster.
Okay. I don't think the fighters are immediately threatening you, so you don't have to worry about that. The reservoir is very large, so it's an easy target to hit. So I think speed, bonus for your jump jets, and a bonus for the size of the reservoir. You're just going to take -1 because of the rough terrain. So I think it's going to be 3d6.
5.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so that's a success. You get into the water. We see the Jenner sort of splash down into the reservoir. There's actually a wave of water that crashes over the top of the dam, and just this curtain of water that's falling down the gorge in its wake. Yeah, we see steam coming out of the water as the Jenner just sinks down into it, and it's probably the Jenner, the cockpit is actually lower than the top of the mech, so the cockpit is probably submerged, and you can only see the top little section of the Jenner in this reservoir. So you're pretty well covered now, and you can see your heat just ticking down. So I'll say clear 2 heat. Yeah, there's you see a very startled shark moving around in the lake. Okay, cool. So the rest of you, what do you want to do while your fighter screen is inbound? Cold Rune or Farlow, what are you doing?
I have auto in my manipulator arms. Does using them cause heat?
No, it doesn't. It does not cost heat. If you just fire one, it doesn't cost you any heat.
Can I use them basically to like throw up flak? Just try to keep.
They're aerospace fighters, so they're fast as hell. You are also at a disadvantage for range. So you're at -2, I think. Do you think you have anything you can use to increase your odds?
Are they at extreme or are they at far?
They would definitely be.
Yeah,
I'll just move everybody. I mean, I don't know.
At odds and kind of right, exactly.
Severely outgunned.
1.
So you could spend an edge to be at 1 die.
By 1.
So you could spend an edge left, I think.
Yeah, I've got an edge.
So that would put you at a 1 die, and burn all the ammo in both of your autocannons, but you are able to put up this screen of flak that is going to suppress the enemy fighters until your allied fighter screen comes in, and you see, missiles and lasers streaking through the sky above you, and the enemy fighters break off to engage in like a dogfight with your. So now, no opposition. So I think the only thing is, like, I guess you're using your lasers to destroy it, so you don't have to spend ammo.
That sounds economical.
Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of like a little bit of a slow process. Actually, you can't do it right away because you're only firing lasers, and you're already at a certain amount of heat. So you can only you have to wait for your heat to cool off and then fire again and fire again. And you're just basically hitting the weakest point of the dam, right?
Reservoir,
what's that?
Could we do it from the reservoir? I mean, at the shallows, but
you could for distance, just because you don't want to get sucked downstream when the dam collapses. But yeah, if you were sort of at the edge of the reservoir, you could definitely get some extra heat reduction. So you would be able to fire a little bit faster, and of course it's harder to hit the dam from upstream because it's way smaller profile. So yeah, I think this is kind of a bit of a I think this is probably we see. We probably see Farlow sort of directing the efforts to deconstruct this dam, right? You have that construction background, so you kind of have an idea of how to take apart a structure, right?
Actually, isn't there the one LCV that's it got taken out up against a particularly important point and then just blow it up?
I think there's probably just cargo trucks and stuff around that you could use, right? Unloading these SRMs from the striker and putting them in this truck and driving them over to this weak point of the dam, and then you all fire your lasers at the SRMs and they cook off, and yeah, we see the cracks appear on the facade of the dam, and then it just starts to give way, and there's this titanic crash of water as this whole reservoir drains down into the gorge. And, we see beneath, downstream, there's villages and towns where the water side is just getting completely wiped away as this giant wall of water is crashing down. And we see the lights of the city off in the distance just go out one by one as power is cut to this huge area. Yeah. So you've done your job, right? You've been good pirates. You've completed both your primary and secondary objectives. So I think you do get the order from command you're going to head over to Waypoint Gamma. You're traveling to Waypoint Gamma, where you are going to meet up with Alpha Lance, and you'll get further orders as to how to proceed from there. I don't think we need to really roll for you to get to Waypoint Gamma. We'll just go straight to the end of mission rules. One thing I will say is that as you're moving, like you're moving back towards the east, towards the other where all the other lances are, and you're moving into the storm, right? Like the rain is coming down, and it's streaking down the sides of your mechs. Yeah. So let's talk about your. Here it is, mission performance evaluation. All right, so after a mission ends, win or lose, the unit is given a performance evaluation by their employers. These evaluations determine pilot advancement by awarding experience. The evaluation procedure is as follows. The group answers the following questions. Did the team complete their primary objective? Yes, right. Did the team complete at least one secondary objective? Yes. Did the team complete all their objectives? Yes. Did the team avoid taking heavy damage? No. Did the team overcome overwhelming odds? I'm going to say no. So you get A rank on your performance evaluation. A rank and above counts as exceptional performance. An exceptional performance grants 2 experience to each pilot. Any other result grants 1. So you get 2 experience all around. And just to remind you about your advancement, you advance to Pro at 3 XP. Yeah, you feel like you're playing Valkyria Chronicles. Yes, you should. Totally. Except I don't award experience based exclusively on how fast you completed the mission. I hate that so much. It's the most irritating thing about that game. All right, so anyway, it's time for us to go to downtime. So does everybody want to take a bio break?
Yes.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Let's go 5 minutes. Okay. See you at 36. Hello.
Kia ora. We lost Brian.
Oh no. Oh, it's a good. So how are you feeling? It's exceptional performance.
I. You're one of those teachers that never gives that 10 out of 10, right? So it's like 9 out of 10.
Your first major engagement.
If only Frank were better.
I did like that going into the reservoir thing. That was a pro move.
Yeah, it took. And for reminding me that my guns did more firepower than they did, and all the other good reminders.
So I think in that engagement we saw. I mean, I tried to do things a little bit differently. I added the chart. I added a picture of the surroundings to try to give you an idea of what it looked like. Do you think that helped with sort of imagining the scenario for those of you who were there last time?
Yeah, I'd even give you an S rank for it.
Oh shit! Wow.
Yeah,
super.
Yeah, I definitely think having just something
that just helps to say, like, okay, we're not going to worry about this, but you're at a disadvantage here relative to these guys.
Or it gives you a.
This is an experiment, so I'll try different things. Maybe next time we'll use the flanking box.
To go with Brian's thing, could you just steal that threat map from?
But yeah, good ideas. I like it. Thank you. Okay. So let's talk about downtime. So the downtime in this game is rather simple. You can do free play. You can engage in long-term projects, or you can make resource rolls to try to get replenishment for the supplies you've expended. So I think that I'll sort of set the scene for what this looks like as you come into downtime. You follow your orders and you head towards Waypoint Gamma. It is sort of in the foothills of the mountains, these central mountains that you were in. You sort of slowly make your way there as the storm comes in. And by the time you get to Waypoint Gamma, it's kind of like almost like a plateau in the foothills. The storm's pretty heavy. It's kicked up quite a bit. You know, the rain is really coming down. There's some winds. This is a proper rainstorm that you've come into. At the waypoint itself, you see that your dropship, that Aerodyne dropship that you were in before, that Mouse was piloting, has landed there. And there's a bunch of mech techs like running around trying to establish a field base. Everybody's looking pretty freaked out because they're like, you know, at some point VTOLs could show up or an airstrike could show up and hit us. We don't have complete air superiority yet, so it's kind of a scary situation. But everybody's just focusing on their jobs. As you come in, you know, there are like ground crews that are like waving you down into the mech bays to get your mech serviced. When you get out of your mechs, Dasha, there is a bulky man who comes up to you. He's kind of short but quite bulky, wide, stout, you might say. and you know this guy. This is Sergeant Hector Nishida. He's a known smartass, and and he is the head of the maintenance crew. Yeah, he walks over to you. You got out of that pretty much unscathed. Can't say the same for your troops. Points over to Frank's mech.
What, Sergeant? It's not like you've seen damage before and stuff. Like, this is just. Wait, you specifically, or your people?
I mean, use your imagination.
Could do it.
And yeah, it's just like there's like the tinkling sound as like shrapnel hits the roof of the dropship. And he's like, yeah, time pressure.
Well, I wasn't going to believe you, but...
So, pilots, as well as the skills they may have in scrounging found equipment. Whenever the players wish to acquire an asset, the pilot announces what they want, and the GM sets a rarity level based on how hard it is to acquire in the current circumstances. The pilot makes a fortune roll of their rank, plus or minus situational bonuses and penalties, and the resulting acquisition value is as follows. Miss is a 0, mixed success is a 1, success is a 2, and a critical is a 3. If the acquisition value equals the rarity level, the player gets the item. If it exceeds it, they choose one. They get extra stock or it's fine quality. And you can acquire multiple assets at once, but in order to do so, you take the rarity level of the rarest item being acquired and add +1 for each additional item. So, are you trying to get ammo for your whole unit, or are you just trying to get it for yourself? So your autocannon was out of ammo, right?
Yeah, how's everyone else looking?
Except I've got light autocannons.
So I think we're probably looking at, in that case, like a rarity value of 1 for yourself. If you wanted to get all 3 ammo, you know, on your own, then you'd be looking at a rarity value of 3.
That sounds difficult.
Yeah, it is difficult too. Yeah. Farlow's gone right from piloting to mechanic work, so that's pretty rough for them. For him, yeah. Anything else you think that could work to your advantage?
Dasha from some disgusting private entity that hires.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. So that would give you, I believe, I think it was, so you had privilege, command, salvage, and the help from Farlow. So that would give you 5d6 to roll. So how much ammo?
Because I would feel.
Hector's like, okay, fine. Look, I've got some autocannon 2 ammo. You can use that. Sorry, don't have anything for your cannon right away.
It's fine. I'll just punch the shit out of people. What I do best, and then I sort of look at him.
and he's just like runs off to go get that autocannon ammo for you. So good news for Farlow, your ammo is completely replenished. And unfortunately, there's none for your boss. Dasha is shit out of luck.
I enjoyed doing it. So
we're working on the maintenance here, right?
Yeah. Does heat reset for all machines?
Yes, heat goes down to 0 for everybody. So yeah, we'll do the maintenance and repairs. During maintenance and repairs, the heat gauges of all mecha are set to 0 and all edge is restored. So first do that. Fortunately, you're not at pro yet, so you don't get to that extra edge, but still at 2. Afterwards, each player rolls for hit point recovery with the following procedure. So when you perform maintenance and repairs, you can restore at least 1d6 HP. The GM will add extra repair d6s depending on the quality of the repair facilities available. So is the rest area equipped with a repair station? Yes. So it's plus 1d6. Is the equipment high spec? I don't think so. Are there technicians, PCs, or NPCs available to perform repairs? Yes. Is there the exact material necessary to perform repairs? Well, let's find out. Brian, why don't you roll a die of fate to see if they have exactly what they need to fix up your mech.
No.
They don't. Okay, so no. So we are looking at Farlow, if you want to pick a specific mech to help out with your ability, you can give an extra d6 to them.
I'll work on
the Jenner. You will be rolling 46. Frank will be rolling 46.
Do I need to do it?
I think you're at full HP, right?
Yeah, I'm
out of luck on the ammo, unfortunately.
Okay.
Unless somebody else can convince Hector to get you some of that.
You know what? Us punks just have to make do with what we've got.
Yeah, right. It's such a hard scrabble life. Yeah, no, I think that it works fine the way it is because you can spend edge during the downtime phase to do stuff like get resources. But that means you're going to be down on edge for your mission. So I still think that it factors into the downtime reasonably well. Yeah. Good question, though. I like it. Okay, so let's talk about what everybody's doing with your downtime. You probably get one action you can take because this is a really dicey situation, but you can do something. Farlow, I think you're busy making these repairs. I don't think you're going to be able to do anything else. Frank, what are you doing?
I think nearly dying.
Resources or both. They should begin a long-term project to see it to its resolution. First, the GM and player agree on what will happen when the project is concluded. Then the GM sets a 4, 6, 8, or 10 segment clock to represent its progress. Okay, so you are what? You're trying to actually make this happen? Like, how far along do you want to see this project?
How far along do I want to see?
Are you just trying to convince people that it's... So I'm just going to write this in the scratch pad for the moment. Convince mech warriors that...
Yeah, I guess it doesn't have to just be the mech.
Vinson's Vigilantes should belong to the membership, not just the colonel. And this is an 8-segment clock, so you're starting at 0 of 8. So I will get you to make your fortune roll to try to pull off your plan. So do you think you have anything that could work to your advantage? I think one thing you could say is like, hey, I almost died. I should get something out of this. Yeah.
I mean, the core of his
sob story to bring.
Yeah, the core of his argument is yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't think he...
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe he starts with the mech pilots.
Okay, so yeah, you go...
They probably have the most pool.
Yeah, all in the dropship. It's kind of cramped, but there's like mech warriors like running in there, grabbing some food from like a dispenser, just like basically like a microwavable meal, and they're eating that. And like generally speaking, they're not very chatty, like because everybody's freaked out. But they're also not just like shoving food in their mouth and running because they're waiting for their mechs to get serviced, right? So I think you run into somebody from Alpha Lance who is not the major. This is the major who gave your mission briefing before. She is the commander of Alpha Lance. So one of the other 3 members of the Lance you run into. What do you think that person's like?
I got to go back and look at the lists of backgrounds that are possible.
Good idea. Good plan. All right. Is that the way that the pirate ships you used to run with were handled? Because like that is the way that pirate ships were actually run in like the Age of Sail. Like they were basically booty was handed out on an equal basis, and they were pretty democratic and stuff, right? So
yeah, I think so. I think that's how it was run if you were like a good crew anyway.
Okay, yeah, right.
Out there.
Okay, so this is something you'd like actually be familiar with, an extra d6, and see if you can bump that. I don't think you can. It doesn't.
I got a 5.
Okay, so yeah, it doesn't improve the result. I was thinking like.
I come in Armageddon style.
Yeah, totally. Oh God. Okay, so that'd be like like a Chinese-looking dude, and has lots of scars. Pretty serious. He used to be like a good shooting out there.
Yeah, we were. I was lucky. Just glad
found it against us. Every member of this guild would have been footing the bill for our contract we broke. So I guess the Colonel has it right when he says that this is probably the best thing for us to do. Get a big payday, make for the periphery, find ourselves a nice place to live. Hopefully, someday down the line, we can find, I don't know, some kind of income, some kind of life.
I mean, that's right.
Something you'd like to do?
I have a question to your question.
If you want to do something to advance your personal situation.
That's what I mean by dumb shit. Yeah, I'll
probably on like the command deck of the dropship. And she's looking over some maps. There's really no other commanders because like the dropship isn't like super full of like command staff or anything because it's out in the field. Like maybe Mouse is over in the corner looking at something, but like they're not in a conversation right now. What was your rank again? You were like a lieutenant, right?
I think. A lieutenant, yeah.
Yeah. You come in and she says, "Oh, lieutenant, something you wanted?"
Yeah, and do I know what she like? Do I know what she likes? Like, people want to butter her up a bit with like some good
and well, maybe, Lieutenant, but is now the time? I've got an operation to plan.
Well, it doesn't have to be now, of course. Like, if you're busy, you're busy, and I
You and trying to mentor you.
Yeah, I got an A. What are you doing?
Right. So that's 2 dice you get there. And I think you're all she's busy.
Yeah.
So I think you're rolling with 1D, 1D, 1D6.
Can I move conversation to
there's going to be a briefing in 30 minutes.
Yes, I'll say in 30 minutes. So I think she sheepishly sees herself out before she shut up.
So, yeah, next time we'll do the sort of final operation, and we'll start, I guess, with stars and wishes. So, Tejas, do you have anything good to say about the other players, about the game, about myself, about the scenario? Anything?
I will say that the game, the character creation,
it's kind of a little bit less of a personal thing and more just a mechanical thing.
Right. I mean, you just need to recreate every single technical manual, right?
Yeah. I mean, that is if you're converting from heavy gear, if you're converting from XYZ. Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad to hear that was interesting and it went smoothly. That's awesome. Lauren, do you have any stars?
Yeah, always. I don't know why you frame that in the as if you're assuming I have none.
And I especially like oh, if that's a cool story about how you got here. Sounds like you got fucked up, bro. I laughed about that a lot. So.
Possibly die in character creation.
Yeah.
Probably just everything everybody else already said. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Next session. I do think we did manage to spend a fair bit of edge this mission, so I think that was positive. Yeah, but as far as stars go, I was glad to see a little bit more about each of your characters. I'm glad we got to get some more sort of character development. That was nice, and I think, yeah, I mean, I just get like kind of like stars for working together and also working to make this game better. I think both of those things are excellent. So thank you very much. Yeah, so what about wishes? Tejas, do you have anything you would like to see for yourself, for others, for the game to be different in the next session?
And I think there's only like 2 things that I really thought of. I know that I kind of like, but my dice on actions.
So, works. Like I'm basically kicking the tires on the current system, and then I'm going to go in and change everything, try to do something different. So it would be very much like really an even faster kind of system where you would be kind of similar to range and cover in Burning Wheel. You would basically have an engagement roll, and then there would be different approaches that the unit could use. And each person would talk about what their contribution to the action would be, and you basically go through like rounds of resolution. So it would be a lot more sort of like opportunities for people to play off of each other dramatically. I think that might be more fun, but it is something that I still have to write. So yeah, so this is the current approach, and I do recognize it has that problem. Certainly, I don't want to be give you too many dice because I already think you're rolling pretty well, right? Like if you start to get up towards 46, your odds are really good. So it's hard to give the players a lot of room for expression, but then also make sure that their dice totals aren't out of control to the point that there's no challenge to the game at all. Yeah, so those are the things that were going through my head, but I appreciate all that feedback. That's good stuff. Yes, winning is fun. Well, you won, right? Yeah. So, Lauren, do you have wishes?
I have two. One of them is to myself.
About the combat. It's about the character drama, right? So, the design approach of this game is kind of maybe misguided. I don't know. It's an experiment. So yeah, I'll think about it more. I do want to give you like a lot more opportunities to play off of each other in combat, which is why I'm going to try to overhaul the combat system. But you know, I may just come up with the idea that other people have done this design better and people should just go play those games because this is not a design space that actually works. We'll see.
I mean, on the flip side, there are people who love BattleTech
out there to play. So I was like, okay, well, I'll write that game. And yeah, that was the idea. So cool. Yeah. So Fraser, did you have any wishes, further wishes?
Brushing through downtime, I'm fine with that.
For the future,
I may still have the same one.
Where you're just piling up that body count massively, whereas this is really not that sort of game. But I think there's probably things in there that I could find.
It's definitely a great example of like how simple you can make things, but still.
So obviously people want more downtime. I understand that. Makes complete sense to me. So do I. But was there anything about downtime that stood out to you as like, this was not working, aside from me not managing the spotlight well?
Maybe just examples of what to do in downtime to give a guidepost of what.
Comrade, yeah, embarrass yourself. Your
well, just like what Lauren was saying, yeah.
To be immediate or not, right? And like, I think, yeah, it's kind of like if you don't have good relationships on base, that's going to impact your combat negatively in the future. But if you spend your time building relationships and not just getting stuff, then that's going to affect your combat negatively immediately. So I think the trade-off is still basically there. It's just I should make that explicit. Okay. So what about the long-term project? Did that make sense, Brian?
Yeah.
Convince her to mentor you, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
That's gonna end poorly.
XP, let's move on, right? Like, like even if you're doing something basic, I should be giving a scene for that, right? So yeah, I'll do that in the future. Although I don't know if we're gonna get any more downtime. We'll see.
Because we'll all be dead.
Yeah, you might all die. That sounds pretty good, honestly. Oh, yeah, that's great. I hope you all have a nice evening, and I'll see you for yeah, and thank you, Brian, for playing with us. If I don't see you in the next session, much appreciated.
Yeah, Frank was a real asset.